Now, the Nio President was recently doing a talk, and this is something that we are starting to see more, which is very good because he highlights or he tells us some of the things that we can expect. I mean, during the week we did a video, I did a video, we were talking about some of the things that he was saying during the Nio EP Club, which he unveiled. Obviously, why Nio is now tapping onto big SUV market and not going to MPVs, which we know by now that of course the primary reason why Nio is doing that is because there is a 48% market share of large SUVs and less than 5% market share of MPVs, and this, he said, it is the primary reason why Nio is going to obviously the large SUVs and not yet the MPVs, because they don't want to just have too many cars and those they are not selling. So they want to first target or sell cars that are relevant to the market so that they can get a decent market share, which is something that is great. Now, on this new video that obviously I will play it for you also at the end of this video, he was talking about obviously the gross profit margins, right? He said Nio is at a place where the more they sell, the less they will lose in terms of money, right? Because gross margins have improved so well. Nio, the more they sell, the more they will be able to get good gross margins, which is something that is very good, right? I mean, he said this is a very different story when you don't have good gross margins or when you have a negative gross margins, because the more you sell your cars or the more you sell your products, the more you lose money because you have got a negative gross margins or your gross margins is not that good, which is a different complete story for Nio, because gross margins onto Nio right now, they are 13%, and the more Nio sells their cars is the more money they make, which is something that is just so great. I mean, one thing that Nio is targeting obviously is to see gross margins going over 20% by end of this year, and they will get to that with obviously the helps of EV models like the ET9, which you know it doesn't come cheap, but that car comes with quite number of stuff or quite number of products, features that Nio developed themselves in-house, which makes a huge difference, because the more stuff they produce in-house to produce their cars is the more gross margins will be able to improve. Say for instance the autonomous driving chip, you will know that because of that autonomous driving chip that Nio made, which they are building in-house now, that chip saves them $1,380 because they are making that chip in-house. This shows you the power of producing or making stuff that you are selling on your final product in-house, and it is something that I think Nio should be making sure, or could be making sure, that they continue doing this until they get to a point where most parts, most items they need to produce their car, they're developing them in-house, which is something that is great, something that hopefully with that Nio will also get to see their gross margins going to 30%. But for now, the target, you know, this year is to see gross margins for Nio main brand getting over 20%, whilst gross margins for the Onvo sub brand getting to over 15%. This is their target. This is what they want to see. And like I said, hopefully they get this. Hopefully we can see Nio generating some good gross margins for the company, right? Because with good gross margins, it's easier to get to profitability, whereas if gross margins are compromised, then it becomes very difficult for a company to reach or to get to profitability, which is something that we need to have at the back of our minds. And the fact that the president of Nio was talking about this, it is a very important topic to discuss about when you look into Nio. Yes, gross margins might be still at 13%, but they've shown significant improvement. I mean, you will remember, if my memory serves me well, Q1 of 2024 gross margins came at 4.9%, and Q1 of 2023 gross margins came at 1.5%. Gross margins at 2023 Q2 came at 1%, and seeing that Obviously, Nio from 2023 gross margins, they've significantly improved and they are now at 13%. It means that Nio is doing a great job, and this is the first signal that shows that Nio could be getting to profitability very soon. I mean, one thing that you will notice on the Nio incentives which they are currently offering is that discounts are not being offered that much onto cars, but on to the services that Nio offers: NOP plus, battery swapping, and 0% interest, but not necessarily cutting the price of the car. And this, my friends, means that gross margins are not being tampered with. Gross margins can actually be improving even with Nio not selling that much of cars, right? Which is something that is great, something that is very important to note from Nio. Something that, unlike the other EV makers who maybe would go and cut maybe the prices of their car because they don't have battery as a service technology like that of Nio, of battery swapping station, which makes those that want to buy EV cars to be fascinated and want to buy Nio cars because of the battery swapping stations which they are offering to those that subscribe to bus or battery as a service, which this, or because of this, it helps Nio be able to launch some good incentives at the end of the day and not compromise gross margins of their cars, or vehicle margins of their cars, which is something that is very important. I like what I see. I like what the Nio President is saying, and I believe that it will take Nio to the next level. This will take Nio to profitability, and hopefully we see Nio obviously getting profitable in Q4 of 2025. So yeah, man, I just thought I'd give you this quick update. Tell me what you think about this. Blue sky is coming, long term will win. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, hit that notification bell, because it takes me some time to make these videos, and all I ask from you is to give it a thumbs up so that at least it can help me, because it motivates me to do more videos for you. And yeah, let's hope things get better with time. I'll see you on the next one, and God bless you all.
Losing time, I'm fading fast. I just wanna make it last. Try to let go of the past. I close my eyes, embrace the blast. Sleepless nights and headaches stack. Restlessness to hell and back. What's my purpose? What do I grab? A slippery surface, a heart attack. And sometimes you just gotta believe there's something that'll give you relief. There's something that'll have what you need, what you need. We're broken, it's tragic, we're not all elastic, but maybe there's magic, believe you could have it. And I know of sadness, the anxious and panic, the infinite vastness of all that